The truth of 1984 is that the date chosen for the attack, when Sikhs were marking the martyrdom of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji, was well known that tens of thousands of Sikhs and pilgrims would be in attendance in Amritsar. It had very little to do with the claim that Jas Singh would raise the flag of Khalistan, declaring independence in any day, but rather the planned statewide civil disobedience movement under the Dharm Yodh Morcha, which was to be launched on the 3rd of June 1984. According to the Indian government, Operation Blue Star was launched to eliminate Jas Singh Bhindranwale and his armed followers who sought refuge in Amritsar. It was designed, in actual fact, it was designed to suppress the culture of a people and attack their heart and spirit and self-confidence. This was supported by the simultaneous attacks on 125 other Sikh Gurdwara across Punjab, 55 of them being historical. The truth is that when upon hearing of the attack, hundreds of Sikh soldiers that formed 10% of the Indian army, despite Sikhs being 2% of the population, risked everything and immediately left their barracks in protest. Many were later arrested, imprisoned, tortured and killed. According to the Indian Army, more than 500 civilians and 136 military personnel were killed and more than 200 wounded. However, Rajiv Gandhi, the former Prime Minister of India, reported that over 700 soldiers were killed during the operation. The truth is, more closer to the unofficial figures that said between 8 to 10,000 innocent Sikhs were killed with over 5,000 military personnel. The truth is that Operation Woodrose was launched concurrently by the Indian Army in the countryside of Punjab, when tens of thousands of Sikhs, overwhelmingly young men aged between 15 and 35, were detained for interrogation and subsequently tortured and killed. According to Dr. Sangat Singh Joint Intelligence Committee, about 100,000 youth were taken into custody in the first 4 to 6 weeks of the operation. Many of them were never heard from again. That operation continued for another 8 to 10 weeks, ending in September 1984. The truth is, for the 33 years on, the UN rapporteurs and independent experts, as well as Amnesty International, have denied access to Punjab to investigate the widespread allegations of torture, disappearances, false encounters, and extrajudicial killings. The truth is, perpetrators of these crimes against humanity, people like Chief Minister Bayanta, KP Gill, were protected with impunity, but both ultimately have met their end. The truth is, what took place in 1984 was a genocide. The deliberate killing, causing bodily harm or mental harm or inflicting conditions of life to bring about the physical destruction of a whole or in part the Sikh nation, meets the 1948 United Nations legal definition of genocide. The truth is, the events of June 1984 and what followed in the planned genocide of Sikhs behind closed doors. To date, there has been no formal investigation by India or any other international body into Operation Blue Star. However, in November 1984, following the killing of Indira Gandhi by her own Sikh bodyguards, the truth is that tens of thousands of Sikhs were identified using voter lists taken from their homes, businesses, and places of worship and burnt alive by mobs led by the Indian politicians. The truth is that world leaders attending Indira Gandhi's funeral in November 1984 watched and witnessed and smelt the burning bodies of the minority Sikh community, but all remained silent. The truth is, the November 1984 Sikh genocide was not only confined to Delhi, but over 130 towns and cities throughout India. The truth is, the Sikhs have and continue to give much to India and Britain, as well as the world. Not only the sacrifices in the world wars, but also for the freedoms that we all enjoy today across Europe. So it is ironic that on one hand, we are marking the centenary of the First World War and recognizing many of the Sikh sacrifices, and on the other hand, 33 years ago, Britain helped India kill innocent Sikhs, using British Sikhs and their families. But it's not the first time that Britain have had a bloody hand in the killing of innocent Sikhs. In 1919, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre witnessed a horrific slaughter of Sikh men, women and children as the army under the British command opened fire on thousands gathered for Amritsar in Vaisakhi. On the 70th anniversary, fast approaching, it is only right that the British Prime Minister formally apologised for this act. And the sad truth is that it's been confined for the last few years, the release of secret documents from 33 years ago, that the UK government at that time, led by Margaret Thatcher, provided military assistance and advice to the Indian Army assault on the Sikhs' holy shrine, Sri Darbar Sahib. The UK government today has admitted documents exist and their complicity, and it is a mistake that these documents were released. But ultimately, the truth is the truth. No matter how long, no matter how tough, no matter how much, we will not stop, rest, or falter in our pursuit of the truth. And that is our duty and our commitment as Sikhs. I'm going to now introduce our next speaker, who has lived through these 33 years personally, fighting the Indian justice system on numerous cases. Advocate Amar Singh Chal is the official spokesman of Akal Takht Jathedar Jagtar Singh Hawara, is also the advocate against the Byan Singh Khan case, and also took KP Gill to court for his heinous crimes.